Okay, we are going to have the conversation. We are going to have the conversation about caulk. Caulk. And we're all going to be adults about this, but I am going to pause because we're all human so you can laugh and do Beavis and Butthead jokes inside your head. And I want to warn you, the people that developed technology around this are aware of the homophobic nature of this. So they have made everything around it extremely punny. I'm going to do my best to avoid this. Raise your right hand. If you are watching this and you are at my work and you have requested DIY information or have watched this, you will not report me to HR as I try to deftly avoid every pun around this and probably will not succeed because watch what they've done with this. Caulk. You've probably tried to caulk. You've probably seen videos where people just go and leave a perfect bead of caulk instantly. These are all lies. There is a way to do caulk, and I'm going to explain. So first thing we need to do is talk about size. Caulk comes in three different sizes and formats of tube. This is the 10-ounce tube. It says 10 ounces on it. There is a 20-ounce tube. I don't have it because I don't care about it. And then there is this sausage tube, like I said. The sausage tube you will not see as a DIYer generally unless you're dealing with waterproofing in tubs and sealant. Large construction projects use it if they're using all the same sealant so they don't have to mix stuff. It's an economies of scale thing. It comes in an aluminum tube. You drop it in here, you take your knife and you poke it in the top, you put a little nozzle on top of it, and you go to town with it. Most important thing when you're dealing with caulk is to get a decent caulk gun, manual or automatic. The caulk gun comes with, wait for it, what they call a no drip tip. This is important because otherwise it will drip off the tip. Basically, what it does is when you let go, it retracts just a little bit, about an eighth of an inch to pull back. It does this if it's manual or if it's automatic. If you want to make your life easier, Milwaukee makes this in a M12 and an M18. DeWalt makes this. A number of people make this. You could buy this. It is a bit heavy, but it works very well. You can get an adapter for 20-ounce and sausage tubes as well at your local hardware store. It makes your life easier. It is difficult to finesse caulk and do this all in one swipe, but we're not going to do this anyways because we don't want to make ourselves feel bad. In construction, we don't need to compare ourselves to people on the internet editing garbage. So, how do we do caulk and not make ourselves feel bad? We need a few tools. We need a paint tool, 5-in-1 paint tool. They sell this everywhere. This is a Purdy. No one cares. Purdy anvil. Find it. Looks like this. $5 or $6. This is the thing no one will show you in the videos. It's called a caulk tool. It's got a little silicone wedge here. It's a little bit truncated. And it's got a caulk removal tool to remove the old caulk. You can scrape it. You can come up this side. It's nice stuff. And if you wear out the edge, it's got another edge here and you can flip flop this thing. This happens to be an anvil one. When they're on sale, I buy a ton of them because they wear out. So we get these two things. We get a pile of painter's rags that don't leave any lint. And we get the other thing they'll almost never show you in a lot of the videos when they're trying to impress you with clickbait. Glass cleaner. This is spray away, no ammonia. It doesn't matter. It could be ammonia, it could be not. It doesn't matter. Get this. This is basically lubricant for your caulk job. Yep. I Again, the people are juveniles that deal with this. So what we need to do is scrape out all the old caulk. We can use the point of this. We can use this caulk tool, scrape it all out. Or if we just have a void, we're good. Make sure the edges are pretty good. The other thing we need to do is kind of stick our tool in here, and this comes in really handy, and make sure it's not deeper than 1/2 inch, which is about half of that point there. If it's deeper than 1/2 an inch, we need to use something called a backing rod, which I literally had right here and it ran away. Backing rod. Oh, here it is. Found it. Backer rod. Backer rod is a pool noodle. It's about like this. It's half inch. You stuff it in there just below the surface, about like quarter inch or so, and it gives the caulk something to push against so that it just doesn't, you don't pump an entire tube of caulk into the wall or the crack or whatever it is. It's just right themselves. You really can't avoid it. So yeah, you just push this in there, shove it in with your paint tool, and this will avoid that drama. I actually have a small bit down there where I'm going to use this backer rod because they basically goobered an entire tube of caulk in there instead of using the backing rod. And there's a large gap and it's a 100-year-old house. So we're going to use the backing rod. This is at all stores. Almost nobody buys it. You ask people for this, they'll claim it doesn't exist because no one uses it and they wonder why their life is miserable. This is why backing rod exists. It is the best $4 or $5 you can spend in your life to make your life simpler. So put our tube and our gun. We cut it off at about a 45-degree angle, about like that. And people are always concerned about the angle and they think they get the angle of the tip wrong. It doesn't actually matter. And we squeeze it in and we get a good bead of caulk going. It's actually better as a DIYer to go a bit overboard and really make sure it's in there and there's a ton of it. Once there's a good amount of it and you've got good coverage, not too little, what we want to do is two things that are going to seem really weird. First thing we're going to do is take this and we're going to spray it all the way down our line of caulk. I'll shoot a video on this. And then we'll take this and put it into the corner and we'll pull it tight. And it's going to leave this amazing bead. Perfect. And we're going to have our painter's rag. We're going to wipe it out every so often and then go back in and swipe it and wipe it. Don't use our finger. Use this. It works 1,000 times better and it's less messy. And wipe it. And between the lubricant of our window cleaner and this little puppy, the bead will be perfect. Ta-da! That's it. That's caulking. It works interior, exterior, whatever, and then you can fill all those gaps. I've got a gap here that's anywhere from 1/8 inch all the way up to quarter inch up there to half inch at the bottom. When we're done, no one will ever see it. It will be like it never happened, and we're going to save ourselves a ton of drama because that's just the way that is. But the caulk will fill all of this and it'll seal it. And that is the key to the finishing step. And between that little caulk tool, the caulk and the spray, it'll work good. Question, what caulk do we use? I don't know. I've got some Sherwin-Williams here. I've got a whole bunch of stuff. Um, if you don't want to have the conversation about what caulk to use, this is another thing like the drywall where it's like, oh, there's Alex Plus and there's Kitchen Dry and there's Wet Dry and there's bad. There is some specialty caulk for window glazing and some other crap. 90% of the time, you can use this. It's called Alex Plus. Comes in fast dry and normal. Get the normal stuff. You don't need the fast dry stuff. It'll make your life hell. Um, if you want it to dry faster, spray water on it after you're happy how it is. It'll make it skin up faster. It's a hack. Also, if your spouse is named Alex, you can forever, ever create puns by telling her how you've got the improved version, and she will throw stuff at you when you come through the door. It's great. This is also infinitely cheaper than keeping your spouse, but not nearly as useful. So, Alex plus caulk. White comes in white, comes in clear, comes in other stuff. White, it's paintable. So it generally doesn't matter because you're going to paint after you caulk, right? You're not just going to caulk. White Alex Plus will do 99% of what you need. If you're doing bath or something, they make specific bath stuff. So between Alex Plus and specialized like stuff for bath, that's pretty much all that's in my giant box of caulk over there. Yeah. That's it. That is caulking. And I will shoot a short video actually showing you when I get to the caulk later what this whole process looks like and what the end result is. And you'll be like, oh, that's easy. That's it. Um, And pro tip, most of those people out there are actually caulking like this, and you can just pretty much, keep the caulk tools in your hand like this as you're going and pull them out and just get a rhythm together, and you can caulk, thousands of linear square feet in a day and make your house look absolutely beautiful. The miracles you can pull off that I pulled off in this bathroom, I went after it with a tube of caulk for a day, and Alex jumped in there and she's like, "Whoa, it looks like a whole new bathroom." And I'm like, yes, because all the lines are suddenly very clean in the room, and the eye intrinsically loves that. And if you have an autistic eye, it really loves that. So if I see like uncaulked lines in a room, I will take a caulk gun and a caulk tool and just make it look perfect. And then I will sit in it and bask in the perfect zenness of it. Um, so caulk and paint. If you can caulk, you can do so much to a house.